Concrete contributes roughly 8% to global greenhouse gas emissions, but new solutions are currently being developed to tackle this issue. Innovate UK, in partnership with carbon limiting technologies, are developing an advanced market commitment. This will provide a practical framework to unlock finance which will accelerate the scale-up of these new solutions by making firm commitments to buy novel low-carbon concretes when they are available. As part of this programme, Innovate UK has supported projects with the potential for radical carbon savings. We'd like to share their stories.
We have a major problem in construction. Concrete, the essential building material for civilization, is the second most used substance in the world after water. Cement, the active ingredient, takes up 95% of the carbon intensity of the concrete. And when you put it all together, some people say 6, some people say 7, some people say 8, but it's of that quantum of the amount of global CO2 emissions is coming from cement production.
Sisk have always been at the forefront of change. What we set out to do was to deliver results. There was an end goal in sight on this project, and that was to technically vet that the technology works.
One of the key challenges was to prove that it's a scalable product which can be entered into the wider construction market. I think what this project has done is really proven that not only this mix is compliant with certain standards such as the Flex 350, but also it can be installed the same way you can install any kind of concrete on project. We use a mix of precast and poured on site. We've hit all of that on this project.
So we're here located at Wembley Park, where we had finalized the construction of the mock-up structure. We have poured 55 cubic meters of concrete in 2 different mix designs. We have tried to include in these mock-ups different type of elements so we will be able to verify the scalability of the concrete. This is a good opportunity to showcase that we are able to do more in terms of our sustainability goals. Like implementing these low carbon technologies facilitate not only us and our consortium and the team members, but the whole industry to be able to see that we could decarbonize concrete faster.
So 95% of the problem comes from manufacture of cement clinker, so it's very highly energy intensive. Layman's terms, roughly 1 tonne of CO2 comes from 1 tonne of cement clinker. Looking at the constituents within cement to avoid the clinker, we're replacing the clinker with as much alternative materials as possible. So we're reducing the clinker content in a normal cement down to 20%. We're using 30% of ground granulated blast furnace slag as an SCM, the supplementary cementitious material, and we're using ground limestone at 50%, which is a huge innovation, and that 50% has a much lower energy intensity because we're not burning, we're processing at a much lower energy, and that's where the major CO2 savings come from.
This funding was different because this is very much a preceding technology. I don't believe that we would have been able to proceed without that government funding.
Having Innovate UK on board quite early on was really helpful in terms of getting the team together and doing so.
We appreciate and we value that the sharing of the information and this type of projects is meaningful because we are all following the same direction on decarbonizing our industry.
We're working on something that is meaningful to all the consortium partners. We're all massively focused on sustainability and how we can reduce global carbon.
What's clear to us is that the demand exists. The ambition is there from our clients. We want to make this change. This validation now helps unlock that, and it's a large step towards us being able to use it at a wider scale.